Lalor, and I have a 25-year career working with special needs people. At 40, I became homeless due to addiction. I had always done drugs, but at 40, while my father was dying, I experimented with crack and found that because I had ADD, it brought me a sense of peace and well-being. I continued to smoke well after he had expired and got myself into a lot of trouble over a 7-year period. That's when I found UCC.
So could you maybe tell your audience, what was the main turning point of you wanting to change your life?
Well, one turning point was I fell in love with someone during my addiction, and it quickly dissolved, and I realized, though, that in that brief period I felt something I hadn't felt for a long time from another person and toward another person. I wanted more of that, even if it was painful.
Who was your biggest support during your recovery? I'm taking it you're still in recovery, and
I always will be.
Right.
Well, I had a lot of support during my addiction from a therapist, but just like the rest of my life, that got screwed up too because of my drug problem. My biggest support in UCC is a friend of mine named, is all the guys I went to UCC with and the facilitators. Outside of that, I have a great friend named Ryan. My mom and brother support me in their own way, although they're not addicts, they can't relate. And my friend Nicole, who used with me and has also went to rehab at the same time as me.
Joey, is there any coping skills you can tell to the audience?
My mom is a Zen Buddhist, and so she taught me mindfulness and staying in the present moment at an early age. And I try to go back to that, try to practice it and go back to it as much as possible during the day.
All right. And do you have any future goals?
My future goals is to get my eyes fixed, to educate myself, to remain in recovery for the rest of my life, to check into recovery daily, to take it one day at a time, and to create as much happiness in my life as I can, because I haven't had enough of that in the last few years.
And last but not least, any advice would you give to any people out there that are currently struggling with addiction?
If you find that you hate it more than you love it, you got to do it right away. You got to get in somewhere. You got to check in. You got to research. You got to find your modality of getting into recovery. But you got to strike while you hate it enough to want to stop, and you can only stop for yourself. You can't even stop for your newborn baby. If it's not for yourself, you will fail.
I want to thank you for sharing your story with us today.
No problem, Ryan. It was my pleasure. I mean, Alex.
Your journey is truly inspiring, and I'm sure we will let the world know. Thanks, man.
Thank you.